This week, Bill Shanks is talking about the big matchup between the Georgia Bulldogs and my Carolina Gamecocks. I'm really excited about that.
I bet you are. Well, here's Fox Sports 1670's Bill Shanks with the B.S. report.
Big game in Columbia, South Carolina on Saturday night. The biggest game of the year so far in the SEC, when the Georgia Bulldogs will take on the Gamecocks from South Carolina, two undefeated teams to determine exactly which team is the best team in the SEC East. Yes, Florida might have a hand in this, and they'll find out how they do when they take on LSU in Gainesville on Saturday. But Georgia and South Carolina, two undefeated teams, and what a great matchup this is going to be. Now, South Carolina has won this game 2 years in a row over Georgia, but last year, of course, it didn't matter. Georgia won out after their loss to South Carolina and went on to win the SEC East and play in the SEC Championship game. So you know that Steve Spurrier wants his Gamecocks to be ready to rock and roll this week. Now, for the Gamecocks, they've got Connor Shaw, the very good and efficient quarterback who doesn't make a whole lot of mistakes. He'll, of course, be able to turn around and hand the ball off to Marcus Lattimore, who is coming off of his knee surgery and seems to be getting better each and every week for South Carolina. Now, the last 2 years that South Carolina has won, Lattimore has had a good game both times. So Georgia knows they've got to stop Marcus Lattimore if they're going to have any chance at all to win this ball game. And the problem for the Bulldogs is they have struggled so far at defending the run. They are 59th in the country in run defense so far, and that's part of the question coming in this game. If Georgia cannot stop Marcus Lattimore, can they still win? Of course, if they get into a shootout, they may be able to, because as we saw last week, the offense bailed the defense out for Georgia, and they won 51-44 over the Tennessee Volunteers. So that's the question. Will this be a shootout? And if so, can Georgia take off again? Now, Aaron Murray cannot make mistakes. He does that in big games. He did it last week with the pick six and the fumble. Can't do it this week against South Carolina because the Gamecocks have better defensive ends in Taylor and Clowney. That can't happen this week. And, of course, the big question everybody has is, can these two freshman running backs, these two great freshman running backs, Keith Marshall and Todd Gurley, can they keep it up? If the Georgia offensive line does its job and opens those holes for those two, it's going to be tough for South Carolina to stop them, and that's why Georgia might have the edge. These two freshman running backs are very special. And, yes, they're freshmen. You have to worry about that a little bit. But until somebody can prove they can stop them, I don't know if anybody can. That's why Georgia has the edge in this game. But look at the turnovers. That might be the determining factor on who will win. But, of course, I'm going to take the Bulldogs to stay undefeated. We'll see on Saturday evening in Columbia.
Georgia can't fumble the ball.
Georgia cannot fumble the ball.
That is a no-no.
They had a lot of fumbles this weekend at the game.
It was crazy.
It was a very good game.
It's going to be a really good game. Crazy, crazy day in Columbia. I kind of wish I was going, but
you should.